is with the midpoint formula, yes, you're going to be given this on the test, but it's x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, so with that being said, this is going to be your x1, this is going to be your y1, and then this is given your midpoint. Okay, so we're going to say 6 equals negative 9 plus x2 divided by 2, and negative 2 equals negative 2 plus y2 divided by 2. So we're solving for x2, y2. Okay, what? Anybody else, anyone? Now we are going to solve for x2, y2. So we're going to multiply by 2 on both sides first. Okay, so we're going to multiply by 2 on both sides. That's going to give me 12 equals negative 9 plus x sub 2. We're going to add 9 to both sides. And so that's going to give me 21 equals x sub 2. We're going to do the same thing for this next one. We're going to multiply by 2 on both sides, which is going to give me negative 4 equals negative 2 plus y sub 2. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And so that's going to give me negative 2 equals y sub 2. How you're going to write your final answer is as a point. So 21 comma negative 2. Okay, I want you to try B. The same. Okay, so when you plug in, you're going to get 6 equals 1 plus x2 divided by 2. And negative 9 equals negative 7 plus y2 divided by 2. You multiply by 2. So that's going to give me 12 equals 1 plus x sub 2. We're going to subtract 1. And so 11 is going to equal x sub 2. We're going to multiply on the next one. Negative 18 equals negative 7 plus y sub 2. We're going to add 7 to both sides. And so that's going to give me negative 11 equals y sub 2. So our final answer is 11 comma negative 11. Verify that on your test, there's going to be some questions that ask you to find the endpoints and some that are going to ask you to find the midpoint. If they give you 2 endpoints, then you're going to just plug in for x1, x2. What's up? Remember that your midpoint formula is this. So if you have 2 endpoints, they're going to go here and here. If you are given the midpoint, it's going to be what it's equal to. Yes, and if I don't, remind me tomorrow. Like if you need it tomorrow and I don't give it to you for whatever reason, just remind me. So 16 is probably the hardest one. So which values of a, b, and c, well, ax plus by equals c, have a slope of 2 and go through this 0.53. Okay, first of all, they give us slope and they give us a point. What formula does that make you think of? They give you not slope intercept, but close. We got point slope formula. And that will be given on your test as well. Okay, so we have the slope, which is m, and we have the point, which is 5,3. We're going to plug that in. So y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 5. So all I've done so far is take the information that they give us and plugged it into point slope. Now, they want us to put this in standard form. That's actually what this guy is. Okay, standard form is ax plus by equals c. Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, there we go. What we're going to do is we're going to distribute. So this is going to give me 2x minus 10. And then I'm going to move the 2x to this side and move the 3 to the other side. So we're going to subtract 2x. And that's going to give us negative 2x plus y. We're going to add the 3 to the other side. And that's going to give us negative 7 over here. So now we're looking at our standard form. We've got it set up. So these numbers are going to be negative 2, 1, and -7. Let's chat. Okay, so this one's going to look a little weird, but when you plug into the point slope, plug into point slope, the 5, 3 is your x1, y1, and slope is at m. You're going to get y minus 3 equals 0 times x minus 5. Then you're going to distribute. So now you've got to get it into this form. Okay, so we're going to distribute the 0. 0 times x is just 0. 0 times 5 is 0. And now we want it written like this. So we're going to move that 3 to the other side. And so y is going to equal 3. Now again, this looks a little strange because where is the x term? It's not there, right? So if something's not there, what number do we associate that with? 0. Okay. In front of the y, we have a 1. And then our c term is 3. 17 is probably the best way to review for this test because it asks you to do literally everything. So for instance, on part A, you're doing the distance. Part B, you're doing the midpoint. C, you're writing a parallel equation. D, you're writing a perpendicular. Okay, so I want you to take a moment, see if you can answer those 4 questions. Okay, so the first question says, Janelle enters the mall at the east entrance. If you don't remember east, west, blah, 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 they've got a little compass up here. Never eat soggy waffles. So this is your east entrance. Well, where's that located at? That's located at 26,9. Okay, and then she's going to the animal store. The animal store is right here, which is 23,7. Now you're trying to find the distance. Okay, so the distance is, you're going to label these x1, y1, and x2, y2. x1, y1, x2, y2. And then you're going to plug in. So 26 minus 23 squared plus 9 minus 7 squared. And I got 13, square root of 13 as my distance. You might have gotten decimal form. It's 3 point something. Okay. Questions on that? Okay. The next question asks you to find the midpoint between Travis being at the west entrance and the animal store. Okay, so the west entrance is this guy over here. That's 0, 5. And we're finding the midpoint between that and this one over here. Okay, so this is going to be my x2, y2. And I'm going to plug into the midpoint formula. Remember, the midpoint formula looks like this. It's a location. So we're going to plug in 0 plus 23 divided by 2 and 5 plus 7 divided by 2. When I do that, that's going to give me 11.5, 6. So when I graph that, notice how it's right here, and that's halfway between here and here. Questions on those two? Janelle and Travis decided to go to different stores. Janelle's route included going to the cell phone store, then the Purse Express. If Travis starts at point 17.5, create a parallel equation to Janelle's route. So from the cell phone to the purse store, come back over here. There. Go. Okay. Let's do blue. Okay, so from cell phone to the purse store, what we need to do is find Janelle's slope first. Okay, best way to do this is to go down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So down 2 over 6. Can I simplify that? -1 over 3. Okay, so I've got my slope. What was the point for Travis? Okay, and that's x1, y1, right? So we got a slope, we got our point. What formula are we going to use? Point slope formula. And all we're going to do is plug these 3 things in. Y minus 5 equals -1/3 times x minus 17. I think that's all I ask you to do. I don't ask you to put it in standard or y equals mx plus b form. You can leave it like that. Okay, now part D asks for you to write the same thing, but perpendicular. Okay, so this is part D. You're going to take the exact same equation, but instead of this slope, you're going to flip it and change the sign. So this is going to be y minus 5 equals 3, because that's when you flip it and make the sign positive, x minus 17. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. This one's for D. This one's for C. Let's talk about slope first. So we got AB, AD, CD, and BC. Those are the 4 sides, right? Okay. So from B to A, we would go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 3, over 4. Okay. From A to D, we're going down. We're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1, 2, 3. So negative 4 divided by 3. For B to C, we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1, 2, 3. So negative 4 divided by 3. And for CD, we went up 1, 2, 3, and go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see how these are negative reciprocals of each other? And 2 of them are the same, the other 2 are the same. Yeah. Okay, so that's part of making it a square. So the perpendicularness of this is making these 90-degree angles. Okay, so that's why it's either a square or rectangle. Now, when you found the distance for all of these, so the distance for all of these, you should have gotten 5. If you did not get 5, then you plugged in wrong. Remember, distance formula is that square root of x2 minus x1 squared, y2 minus y1 squared. Yes, I'll give it to you tomorrow on the test. Are there any questions about that? If you did not get 5, then you probably plugged in something wrong. Another great thing is you see that this is a square, which means that if you plug in and you get some crazy answer, you did something wrong. Go back and check your work, okay? Questions? Okay. At this point, you should be done with your entire review packet. Here are the 4 things that you could potentially be working on. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. Okay, so here are the 4 things you could be working on. You could be finishing up your Unit 7 review. That's this paper. You could be working on your final exam packet. You could be working on your project. Okay, remember, this is due Tuesday. Yep, you picked it up yesterday. It's over here. Okay. This is going to be that final exam review packet is kind of part of your project because it's the practice problems. Yeah. No, this is just for your convenience. Yeah, this is just to get practice. Have I talked to y'all about May 15th? Have not talked to y'all about May 15th. Okay, so if you go into your Delta Math, this is a one-time offer, and you go to assignment, there are 3 different assignments on here. There's a 5A, a 5B, and a Unit 6. If you complete one of these, you are eligible for a retake that will only be offered on May 15th. Okay? I would highly suggest you looking at the 5A, 5B, because that's where most of y'all struggled. Unit 6 wasn't too bad, but if you need to go through that, that's fine. But this will be a one-day thing. This must be completed, whichever one you're doing, it must be completed prior to you coming into class, and then you must take the test that day. Okay, so this is going to happen on May 15th. When you come in May 15th, you're going to either take one of the tests or you're going to present the project or whatever. So May 15th, you can get one of these done. I'm not extending that offer. Okay. Yep.
So I have people know just.
No, we'll schedule it so that you're not doing everything. Yep. Very good. So if you do one of these Delta Maths, you're eligible for a retake on your test May 15th. So if you want to do 5A, 5B, or Unit 6, that's there for you. Okay. Please make sure that you can see these things. Like if you're like, yes, I want to do this, make sure that you go ahead and go into Delta Math and like make sure that you can see it. Yes, sometimes Delta Math's a little finicky. If you tell me the day of, hey, I couldn't find that assignment, then that's too bad. Okay, so check it now so that we don't have problems later. Okay, questions on that? So you could be working on your Unit 7 review, your final exam packet, your project, or the retake option. Everybody understand? So you have almost